Yo, in this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys the best competitive settings in Chapter 3, Season 3. We are in a brand new season, so I am gonna be going over all of the new changes that you need to make to get the most optimal settings for a better performance. There will be new settings inside and outside of Fortnite that you guys need to change because of the new season, so make sure you don't skip any part of the video so you get all of the correct settings. If you guys don't enjoy the content, then you can unsub at any time. So now, without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. So I am going to be starting off with the in-game settings. So for your Windows mode, if you aren't using full screen, that's what you need to be doing. Full screen is the best mode to use for any game because it does reduce your input delay compared to using Windows full screen or windowed mode. It even says that the game will run slightly faster, even if you're using stretched res. Speaking of stretched res, I have been using it for a while now. The res I am currently using is 1750 by 1080, which is one of the best reses to use. Using a stretched res will help you gain more FPS and reduce your input delay. So I am going to show you guys a quick tutorial on how to get stretched res, so stay tuned. So we are on our desktop, and as you guys can see, so now we do have to change our game user settings. So what you want to do is press the Windows key and press X, and then you want to scroll down until you find run. Then once you find run, where it says open, you want to type in %localappdata% and then press OK. Then you guys should see a bunch of folders, but to make this faster, you guys can press F to find Fortnite. So once you find the Fortnite game folder, you want to click on it, click on saved, click on config, click on Windows client, and instead of left clicking on your game settings, you want to right click on it and then go to properties. And then you want to uncheck read only and then press OK. And now you guys do want to left click to open your game settings. So just to make this easier and less complicated for you guys, what you want to do is click on edit and then go to replace. So I did say this earlier, I am using my own stretch res. Assuming most of you aren't using stretch res or you're just trying to get into a new stretch res, our find what and replace with is going to be different. So if you're on native res, which is 1920 by 1080, for your find what, you want to put 1920, but I am using 1650 by 1080, so I'm going to find 1650, and now I'm going to replace that with 1440. Then you want to click on replace all. Now you want to do this again, so now you do want to find 1080, and then you want to replace 1080 with 1050. Then you want to click on replace all once again. Then you guys can exit out of this. And now you guys can see, if you do scroll down, if you do find your settings, you guys can see that I am on 1440 by 1050. So now you want to go to files and just save it. So now you do want to right click on the game settings and go back to properties so you guys can check read only once again. So now moving on to your FPS, I do cap my FPS at 240 since I have a 240Hz monitor. So whatever your monitor's hertz has, you want to cap it at that. If you have a 144Hz monitor, then you want to use 144 FPS. Or you can go even higher and cap it to one above, which would be 165. If you do have a 240Hz monitor, do not cap it at 360, just keep it at 240 for the most stable FPS. So now moving on to the color and brightness settings, everyone's settings will be completely different because we're all on different setups, and because we all have different settings in our monitor and NVIDIA settings, but we'll get to that later on. But I do use a 100% brightness, which I would recommend you using. Now moving on to the colorblind settings, I am currently using Prototype 5. I have just recently switched to this as well, and this actually made my game look better, and I can see through Storm perfectly. For my 3D resolution, I am using 100%. I wouldn't recommend going no lower than 80% because obviously your game is going to look very pixelated. But by doing this, your game is going to feel less delayed. And now for all of our graphics settings, I do have all of my settings on low. I am still playing on performance mode, which is the best option to use. Now moving on onto the game settings section, I am going to be talking about movement. You need to have toggle sprint turned on in order for you to sprint in game, as long as you have a bind for it already. For auto open doors, you need to have this on as well. This can be a lifesaver as you can run through it automatically. For mantle activation, this one is preference, but I believe hold jump is better than hold forward, because there are times where I don't want to mantle onto something, but if I were to run and jump, I instantly would. For your preferred item slots, I would recommend you guys actually changing your loadout to the way you like, because this can be a time saver when you are looting. And now going down to the build section, I do want to talk about confirm edit on release. This is quite easy to answer whether you should be using edit on release or not. Although it is preference in which one you want to use, you will notice the difference. If you aren't using edit on release when editing, you'll be able to create your own and use more right hand peaks before confirming an edit, compared to using edit on release. Noahreyli did explain this a few seasons ago why he doesn't use edit on release, so I'll just replay the clip.
Is there a secret why every pro doesn't use edit on release? Okay, I'm gonna show this once forever. Wait, where is it? Confirm edit on release. On. Okay, let's see the right hand peek. I'm here. Want to strafe for right hand peek? Oh, fuck. Where did I stand while holding it? Here. Would I die? Yes. Let's see it without the edit on release on. Off. Let's see it. Nice. That's the reason.
So that was him explaining whether you should be using edit on release or not. So hopefully that did clear that up for you. Next thing we're going to be moving on to is our sensitivity. There are plenty of ways to find your perfect sense, which I did make a video on recently, which you guys should see in the top right of your screen. But if you are using 800 dpi, then I would recommend you using a sense from 6.5 to 8%. This is a perfect range of a low to medium sense, but this will only work for you depending on how much mousepad space you have. Also, you want to make sure you have lock input method as mouse on if you are playing on double movement. But I am going to get to that topic later on in the video. But the next topic we're going to be going into is your sound settings. You can change your volume settings the way you like, this doesn't really matter, but the most important things that matter is in the sound section. For your sound quality, you do want to have this on low because as you guys can see, if you do have it on high, this will decrease your performance, meaning you will lose a few FPS. You don't want to lose a few FPS just for your sound settings. So now moving on from Fortnite, we are on our desktop. And there is one setting that I want to show you guys to make your color settings look really good. So we are in our NVIDIA control panel and there are two things you need to do. So you need to go to adjust video color settings, then you guys can copy the settings I am using. But like I said earlier, it will be different for everyone because we are on different setups. And the last thing to do to change your color settings is to go to adjust desktop color settings. And you guys can just copy these settings right here. Your digital vibrance is the most important setting, so you want to have that around 80 to 90%. I will be making another video in the future going over the NVIDIA control panel settings. So that is everything I am going to be covering in today's video. I did want to try to get this out as fast as possible, so I may have left a few things out. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. And also if you guys are buying the battle pass, make sure to use my code Witeout in the item shop, because that does help more than you think. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. But before I end the video, I will be linking all of the videos that I did mention in today's video in the description. So with all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Ran away from the past and the nonsense. Tired of toxic ends, not an option. Made it up from the mud, I'ma find this. Taking off hella fast, I'm a Martian.